part of the IT ENC department. Uh, Next slide, please. So if you see proliferation in the country, this is a country's challenge. It's just not Telangana challenge. The proliferation of broadband internet is predominantly in the urban areas, in the metro areas, and in the and to some extent the semi-urban areas. But in the rural areas, if you see, broadband services have not penetrated, both in terms of the wireless as well as wired broadband. We have seen this recently in the pandemic years that we have passed through. The online education has proliferated so much, and the urban children got the access to it, connectivity, whereas most of the rural children are deprived. So they literally lost 1 or 2 years of their education. So what's happening there? Most of the phones are feature phones. They're not smartphones. Most of the users are still with these feature phones and then connected to 2G network, and then they're just transacting their business. 3G and 4G is still poor in terms of penetration in the rural areas. Hence, the broadband services are poor. The statistics is that it's the wired broadband penetration in the country in rural is just 2%. So this is extremely low. And how do we address this? How do we provide access to these rural population in the country? Is the biggest challenge for the country, and hence the national optic fiber network, now it's called BharatNet, has been initiated by Government of India, and in the state, Telangana Fiber Grid Corporation is the implementing agency in the state for BharatNet, and we in T Fiber have enhanced the BharatNet scope uh, to, uh, to make it end to end. So that's where we are. This slide explains basically the both wireless as well as the wireline technologies that are used to reach the rural villages. 5G in the wireless era, and fiber that will support 5G for the backhaul, as well as fiber to home, are the two major technologies that will be used for broadband proliferation. Okay, so the vision. What is vision of T-Fiber? We, the leaders of T-Fiber, the visionaries, have said that we are going to connect all homes. It's just not connecting villages, but we'll connect all homes, all enterprises, and the government institutions. This is the broad vision of T-Fiber. And what are the guiding principles towards that? It should be long-lasting. It should be resilient and secure. It should be scalable in terms of the bandwidths and speeds, and in terms of the reliability, it should be carrier grade. The SLA should be 99.9%. So these are the guiding principles of the T-Fibers project. So this is a complex network diagram which explains that from the state headquarters, which is on the extreme left, all the way to the Gram Panchayat, the fiber is the network of fiber network is being deployed. Today, the overall kilometers of fiber we are deploying is about 42,000 kilometers, probably more than that. If you take into the account the last mile also, it's much more. In comparison to the largest telecom operator in the state talking about, Reliance Jio has the largest fiber deployment, and their kilometers in the ground is 16,000 kilometers. So we are more than 3 to 4 times of the largest mobile operator in terms of the fiber underground fiber deployment. And just not only the fiber, it's also the active elements, the technology that we are implementing is that at the last mile it is GPON, then there is an access aggregation is the MPLS routers. So it's a service agnostic. So you can run any services, and in the core there's a DWDM. So this slide actually gives you a pictorial view of connecting all the villages, mandals and villages in the state. So we are almost there. We are almost there. It's just that we need to now commission it. So we are in the verge of commissioning. So if you see this slide, all right. So now what do we do with this infrastructure? What are the use cases of this network? Uh, the market segments. In the previous session, Mr. Ranjit has explained that these are the various use market segments. So it's a similar slide here. The government institutions, we have an objective of connecting 30,000 government institutions all across the state in year one, and moving up to 60,000. So education alone, schools, there are about 38,000 schools has been already identified and given by the department. We'll be connecting them. This will be directly connected by T-Fiber, and services will be provided. The cellular towers, the last segment, is also will be directly connected by T-Fiber, and we will be servicing them. In between the two segments will be through business partners like TSPs, MSOs. Using the T-Fiber network that you can see here. The CCTV is the police department. One district, Sirsila, we have already connected all the police departments, and they're using that. So this picture here talks about what the rural population will get once the T-Fiber goes live. What do they get? So they get a digital experience of all the services that includes the television, the live TV, the internet, and the government to citizen services in terms of all the today the e-seva, me-seva centers are there. They have to go to some center to get services. Tomorrow it will be in their doorsteps at their household. And then remote education, remote computer is another application we are looking at launching to every home and enterprise. So they don't need to own a desktop or a laptop. It will be a VDI application to the households. And then there will be all the other OTT. Okay, so T-Fiber network, backbone network to a cellular tower. What are the benefits? It basically provides, first of all, the 4G network today and 3G, 2G, 3G, 4G networks today in the country run by the cellular operators. Only 30% of the